Okay. Um, so if you whatever you put in the chat gets saved when I close down the Zoom, and so we'll be able to keep track of people. And if I don't have your email address, like Janet, I'm not sure I have your email address. You could put it in the chat, and then we can communicate with each other in the future. So it's just 3:01. Have another couple of minutes for more people to come because we have a lot of people coming.
Which goes to show you that people in BC really do want to connect, and that's amazing to see all of you so far, and we are expecting others.
I'm just putting my info in. Oh,
Anybody know a good joke? I guess that was one.
there
When
you
I
go.
see
Marlon,
that,
we can see you.
Yes, that picture did arrive. Thank you. Yes, I
How
know.
odd.
Yes, it's so annoying.
I was just going to make the comment, I like to see Nancy Taylor, because I just think of the Later's Too Late film that she did an awesome job in it.
Yeah,
Yes, for sure.
yeah, that was great. Um, so while we are more people are arriving, which is really quite exciting. Um, I kind of called this meeting with Erlene, and so I'm going to begin with the a little bit of an introduction of where we are, who we are, why we're doing this. Like, why are we doing this? Uh, and so we were approached by Linda, and I was approached by Erlene about how to reach more people and get more people involved in the Seniors for Climate um, uh, program, all of the actions that we're doing. And Erlene is on the organizing committee, the steering committee, I believe. And we realized that we had 16 groups that already did something October 1st. Um, and we need to, collaborate and maybe spread some of the work so that we can make everybody's event in September better. 3.5% of the population is all we need to affect change. And that's without civil disobedience. That's just doing the right things. And that's only 37,000 BC voices over 60 years old. So that's not very many people. And we can activate that many people to do something and to change our trajectory. Our governments are still thinking about oil and gas pipelines, but we have the potential and the interest, and with all of us together, we can really amplify our voices, and it's really exciting to meet new people. And I do want to thank Linda Curtin in Winnipeg for the work that she did to get us really connected and reach out to all sorts of people. Linda, can you introduce yourself just really briefly because we have a lot of people?
Right. I'm with Seniors for Climate and on the organizing support teams. So some of the folks on my team, so some of the people that are on the screen, I dialogued in terms of email. So my role is to provide support to you as well as I continue my efforts to do outreach in BC to increase the number of subscribers and mobilize people for September.
Thank you very much. Um, And I think I'll pass it over to Erlene to introduce herself, and then we're going to go around really briefly because we have a large group just with short intros. So I didn't do that. My name's Lori Goldman, and I'm in Penticton. in the South Okanagan on the unceded ancestral lands of the Syilx Okanagan people. Very happy to be here, even though it's very hot these days. And I'm with Seniors for Climate South Okanagan, as well as First Things First Okanagan and Council of Canadians. Arlene?
Hi, everybody. So yes, I'm Erlene, and I'm in Vancouver, and we're part of several of us here are part of the what's been called the BC Hub out of Vancouver, and realized that well, last year we sent out several newsletters trying to connect people to some degree, but then we got busy. We're a small group, and we got busy on our own local events, October the 1st, and then Earth Day, and now thinking about September. So I'm on the national steering committee, the coordinating committee, and we were just realizing that we need to share some of the jobs, some of the wealth of activities, and just connect better. So we wanted to call this meeting because we're realizing, yes, 37,000 people in British Columbia, we probably have that number, but we're not on the same page. We're not commenting at the same time about the same issues and making the changes that we might want to make. And so this is our first attempt to get together, see each other's faces, and just maybe build relationships. So welcome everybody. And so now I'm going to call on Carol, who is also part of our BC hub in Vancouver.
Oh, Arlene, Avril wants to say something. Her hand is up.
Just a quick question, Erlene, are you okay with sharing your last name too?
Oh, sure. It's Woolard, right? I just don't ever do it on it's Woolllard. And we will send out a bit of our newsletter after this and keep connected because Lori had the bright idea of making sure that everybody's names are already there when you see, when we get the emails instead of hiding them. So your emails will be there. And if the new people that are not there will hopefully be connected after today. So, Carol.
So, Evelyn, you called on me. Thank you. I'm Carol. I'm also in Vancouver. I work with Erlene and meet with at least one of the national committees as well. I'm on the BC Hub. There's a few of us here, but we're really excited about seeing this initiative. And thanks, Erlene, for all the energy that you put into it. And Lori, thank you. It's lovely to meet you and to see all the faces on the screen of the people in BC that are happy to be meeting today. So I'm just delighted to be here. Thanks. Should I call on someone?
Sure.
Is that the way we're doing it?
Sure. Why don't we do that way?
How about Catherine Gibson from Kelowna?
Hi there. Yes, I'm happy to be here too. I started out working alongside Lori to then stand forward to establish a chapter for Kelowna, which I'm in the midst of doing. I found we have 7 new members, which I didn't know about from that stood for Earth Day and came to Later is Too Late. I work with the Standing Committee on the Environment and Economy. I'm the regional rep for the NDP. As such, I work with groups like Seniors for Climate, Council of Canadians, the Kelowna Climate Coalition, and Okanagan and Kootenay Climate Hub. And so we've got a wide variety of people in the Okanagan, but we're just starting our Seniors for Climate chapter. So I'm glad to be here. Pleased to meet you.
And can I just interrupt for a second to ask people, maybe all of us are really connected to a lot of other climate organizations. So why don't we just talk about whether or not we're going to do something in September, like the Seniors for Climate event that we're sort of gearing towards, and then we'll get to know each other's other affiliations maybe at another time.
Right.
So having said that, maybe I can just call on Dean in New Westminster. Are you muted, Dean?
Dean, you're muted.
Dean, you're still muted. So maybe we can go on to Janet. Maybe he's having trouble with his muting. Janet? Oh,
Um,
okay.
my name's Dean Gingrich, and I'm in New Westminster right now. Been here for about a year and a half. Moved here from various places in Vancouver for about 12 years before that. And then the prior 30 years, I was in Alaska working up there. So I'm glad I retired with my Canadian wife and have now become Canadian also, and want to help out here. When I was in Vancouver, I did a couple of the 55 plus lessons for SFU while I was here on climate change. So I know a lot about it, and I'm interested in seeing what's going on here. Thank you.
Thank you. So Janet, can we call on you next?
Yes. So our group has many seniors within it. We call ourselves the Shuswap Climate Action Group. We've been in operation for about 7 years, and we don't have a group in our area calling itself Seniors for Climate. But our group would certainly welcome any of those other seniors that are not already part of our group to join. At the moment, we are still looking towards opportunities for September. We are doing lots of things. I don't know if our many things will include something that would bring in some other seniors. I know there is a seniors group in Salmon Arm that mostly focuses on cultural and social opportunities for seniors. I don't know if they have expressed an interest in forming a group called Seniors for Climate.
Great, thank you. Mia, you're next on my screen. I think I'm just going to do it this way if that's okay with everybody. You're muted as well. Oh, I think you're saying go on to the next person. Oh, okay. Roz? Roz is also muted.
Got it. I've got a new laptop, so I had to find where where it was to unmute. Yeah, so as I mentioned earlier, I'm in Burnaby, and I've been involved with multiple groups in the fight against Trans Mountain Pipeline. And even following the pipeline coming into existence, we've been working on safety issues. So our most recent one was a town hall up at SFU, working with SFU 350, so the young students up there who are awesome. And it was nice to have that coalition of different ages working together on it. And I'm pretty sure that's going to be continuing. I also have been working with other coalition groups like Force of Nature and For Our Kids Burnaby. So the September event is new for me. I'm going to present it to the coalition and see if we can spread the word, because I know there are a lot of seniors involved. It's just getting people together and working on it. But I think we can do a good job on this, and also pulling in maybe people from Tri-Cities as well.
Great, thank you. So Avril, could you unmute? There we go.
I was just doing that. Thanks very much. I am a co-worker with Lori directly in the Sinpenticton area here, as we've indicated, in the Silks territory. I will just focus on the fact, one thing, that I am the co-chair of the South Okanagan Council of Canadians chapter here as well, and that it is Seniors Week, a bit delayed here in the Okanagan, but it is Seniors Week here in Penticton, and so we have been very busy promoting actions of the Seniors for Climate group in the last couple of days, or a few days, and we have just been the recipient of a neighborhood small grant from Community Foundation, British Columbia. So I encourage all of you chapters to think about, people to think about that for next year. It's going to give us funds that we are going to be using in terms of some kind of social event in August so that we can promote what we intend to have happen in September. So we see this as a sort of staged process, and we have recently tried to encourage our Sunrise Rotary Club involved in climate action here in our community too. And that's also a thing I can recommend to you because of the nature of Rotary's own sense of itself. Let's put it that way. So these are some things we have on the go, and we're looking forward to something very positive, September 20, September 21.
Great.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Arlene.
And as you can see, there's a lot of affiliation here with many organizations. And so could we just actually ask people to say your name, where you're from, and maybe whether or not you are already planning something in September or whether this is all new to you, the idea of doing something. And the reason we're doing this or talking about this is because people keep telling us how much power seniors have, and we know that we do because we vote, we donate, and we are involved. And so what we want to do is, after today and from here on, is to build cohesion among all of these groups. So anyway, having said that, Marlon, could I call on you next?
Yes, hi. We don't have a group here on Salt Spring. I joined SCAN last year, and then we did an event for the October 1st thing, the nationwide, and we'll do something on September 20th, but I don't know. I'm talking to a few friends. I don't know what it'll be yet, but something. There's a lot of active people on Salt Spring.
Yes. Okay, great. Thank you. Dave, you're next on my screen.
Okay, well, I'm Dave Gregory, live in Nelson. Our group is called Kootenay Lakes Seniors for Climate, and we have a sort of sister group in Castlegar, which is half an hour's drive away from us. And actually, we're doing a tabling thing at a seniors conference, or sort of festival, tomorrow in Castlegar. As for last October the 1st, we did a street demo as part of what we were doing for Seniors for Climate Action that time, and I can pretty much be assured that we'll do a similar sort of a street demo again, which involves in part a march down our main street, Baker Street. We do cooperate with the West Kootenay Climate Hub and the local Council of Canadians chapter in the things we do.
Great. Thank you. And Francis, could you unmute?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Just getting it. All right. I want you to know that I'm partnered with Mia over there in the corner, who was unable to respond very well on her iPad. So you're getting two of us. Oh, you can talk too, Mia.
Yes, I can.
I'm going to tell you that we did October 1st and we did Earth Day. And we've got two events, and I want to thank Linda Curtin for the wonderful support she has given us. And the encouragement to get a videographer, to get a photographer, to do things and to try and put it on Facebook. You know, we're getting a little bit smarter every time, but we did learn that the people that we have coming out right now weren't able to handle a march very well. It was a hot day. So we ended up shortening the march quite a bit. But
Francis,
we did have Guy Dauncey as a speaker once. And so we've had different ideas, and we have no idea what we're going to do in September yet.
Francis, where are you and Mia located?
Nanaimo. And we're members of the Climate Action Hub, the Council of Canadians, We Can, etc.
All these wonderful things.
We do it all here in Nanaimo.
plus have Nanaimo bars as well, right? So Nancy Taylor.
Hi. Well, I live in Dunster, BC, and I may be familiar because of the Later is Too Late video, which, you know, I really didn't think I would be such a rock star on that thing, but something that you probably don't know is Laurie Goldman and I grew up next door to each other in Regina. So we've known each other. I'm older, and but I used to babysit her. So it's pretty special to be involved in this together in our 70s. It's great. We have a small group here that we had an event in October, and we had a pretty big event for Earth Week. It was a lot of organizing and engaged a lot of people. I just tried to have a presence at Pioneer Days in McBride, BC. These are small rural communities. You know, I put up the banner and had a table and information. We gave out trees that we got from a tree planting contractor. But people weren't very interested. It was more of a party. And, you know, it's kind of a serious topic at a party. So I'm just trying to, you know, keep the momentum going. I think over the summer I'll have a presence at our farmers market, and maybe do some art. I'm not sure what, maybe like the prayer flags or painting rocks, just have a little station where people can come and create something and talk, make it a safe place and talk about. That's where I want to get ideas for October. I want it to be grassroots. I don't want it to be my idea only, because that doesn't work necessarily. And so if people are suggesting something that sounds good, you know, I'll help organize it. And small community, Dunster is population about between 200 and 300. So it's really small, very rural, very beautiful. And the threat of fires, like fires are big after Jasper and here last summer. So
yes,
we're experiencing climate change firsthand.
That's right. Okay, thank you. Susan.
Hi, I'm in Langley. And this is new for me. I haven't been involved in this mobilization, and I would like to be. I'm not connected with a group here in Langley, but if there are others, maybe we could start something.
Fantastic. And if not, then yes, we'll maybe start connecting people in different places to have Seniors for Climate be forceful. Dan, Mr. Jellyfish Project. I happen to know your name is Dan.
Thanks, Arlene. Hi, everybody. I'm Dan. I'm from Roberts Creek on the Sunshine Coast. I also work with Arlene and Kira and Carol on this call with the BC Hub of Seniors for Climate out of Vancouver, and also the Sunshine Coast chapter of Seniors for Climate. I'm your hat trick guy. I wear a lot of hats. I'm also the membership chair at Suzuki Elders. So if you're looking for a home, come check us out. Spec Elders as well are an interesting group that worthy of your attention. So I also am part of the Jellyfish Project, which promotes climate education in schools and ocean sustainability. We've been going for 13 years. And 10% of the BC school age population has seen our presentation, so it's out there. I wanted to say what we can do to connect all of our disparate outlets and connections. There's two things that come to mind. One is climate cafes or green drinks. We could host in our own local communities and have this conversation that we're having right now with our own neighbors. And the second one is that the BC Hub of Seniors for Climate has a film series, hundreds of films that are all free, available, and organized for your convenience. So if you want to do a series or just share it with friends, it's a way of provoking conversations, and it's a resource available to you. And the third piece is that the BC Hub of Seniors for Climate is in Vancouver, sending out a newsletter to everyone and hopefully all of you. And so I'm writing the newsletter right now, and I hesitated to send off my draft to have it looked at until I got some feedback from this meeting. So if there's something that you think that you'd like me to contribute to the newsletter, to go out to BC seniors across BC, please get in touch with me, and I'll put my email in the chat so that's available. Thank you.
Dan. So Drina.
Hello. I'm Drina McCormick, and I'm chair of the Cathett chapter of the Council of Canadians. We do commit to doing something for this action in the fall. We have done no planning yet at all, but it will involve working with and trying to coordinate with a few other climate groups in town. And the majority of the members of most of these groups are seniors, so I think it will be easy to rally people around that thing, and also to get out younger people in who have their own groups for climate. I'm quite excited that Seniors for Climate is going to ally with 350.org and Council of Canadians nationally and so on, because I think that that will make this action a lot more powerful. As I said, we have done nothing as yet to work towards this, but I'm imagining trying to use the resources that come from Seniors for Climate, like perhaps drafts of leaflets and things like that, but also the National Office of Council of Canadians, that we can draw on resources from both those sources to build what we need to build in this small region.
Thank you so much. And Wendy.
Hi, I'm here in Comox Valley, Courtney, and on the island, just up the way from Francis. And part of the Save Our Forests team group here. But in this valley, there are well over a dozen environment-related groups of people. And there's a coalition called the Comox Valley Conservation Partnership that actually tries to link many of us. So surely we can do something.
Yes, thank you. Okay, so you might have noticed that there are two quite young-looking faces on the board today, and so I will now introduce Kira, and then Kira, maybe you can introduce Natasha, whom I have not met yet.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me here today. I work with Arlene, Dan, and Carol, and Natasha, so we're well represented today for Spec BC and also the BC Seniors for Climate. And I'm a summer student with Canada Summer Jobs, and so is Natasha, and she's fairly new, so this is her first official meeting. So I'll hand it over to you.
Yeah, so I'm Natasha. I just started with Spec BC this week. Today's my third day, so I'm only meeting some of the people I'm going to be working with now in this meeting. I'm in Vancouver, and I'm also a summer student, so I will be supporting the BC Hub for the next few months. Yeah.
Fantastic. So thank you. And so what one of our tasks today, I guess, is to figure out how to put these two young women to work and what can come of our discussion so that we can become more than the sum of our parts, so to speak. And just to back up a little bit too, maybe some of you were not at the organizers meeting yesterday, or maybe you haven't really heard a lot about what we're talking about when we're talking about September dates, 20th and 21st, as a Seniors for Climate and a global event. So as people have mentioned, 350.org, Council of Canadians, Bill McKibben's group, Third Act in the U.S., or everybody's trying to come together on that weekend in September, 20th or 21st, to stress issues around renewable energy. So come up with solutions to talk about the fact that all over the world, in fact, much of the world is way ahead of us in the sense of knowing how accessible and how affordable renewables are. And so how can we use the information of a global movement, educating and learning more to try to change the mentality in our country and in the US and a few other places around fossil fuel usage. So I think for the rest of the time, maybe Lori, do you want to guide some discussion about what we're going? Some of you have already mentioned some of your ideas. Some of us are still working on ideas. And what do you think would be a useful way to spend the rest of our time today? And do you want to meet in a few weeks again? Is this a good thing to do, to put names to faces and faces to names sort of thing? So,
I think that's really great, Arlene. And I certainly do think that we have this opportunity meeting people today in this venue to know how many people are mobilizing around BC. It's really quite exciting. I think part of today might be, what are your plans? If you've already got plans for September, do you have anything you'd like to share? And put your hand up and we could, choose you to speak. And then the other thing is, do you need resources from Seniors for Climate? Do you need help in finding those resources? And Linda might be the person that we would connect you with. And the other thing that we really need to do, of course, is get more people to sign up. So I have a sign-up sheet that I have made. Yesterday, when I sent out the invitation and the Zoom link, I had 3 PDF files in that email, and those PDF files were things that I had created from what Raleigh created to make them a little bit more attractive to send out to people or to hand out to people. And I have a sign-up sheet for Seniors for Climate that might make it easier for people when you go to a market to be able to get names and emails. And Raleigh, the national organization, says that we really need to have people's postal codes on there so that they know how to group people and connect us when we are signing up or somebody else signs up, how they can say, you're part of this group because you live nearby these people, to help mobilize and work together. So if you want the sign-up sheet, I could certainly send that out because we need to get more people. So that might be something else to discuss, is what ideas people might have to increase our base and get more people working, because this is hard work. And if we're only 2 people in a group working really hard, it makes it so difficult to get anything big happening. So we need more people actually meeting up in locally, and then also maybe, BC wide like we have here now. And we could do that doodle poll again. That worked really well.
Yeah. So Francis, I see your hand is up.
Yeah, I just want to say, when you said the theme would be renewable energy, my heart fluttered, because I am so sick of hearing all the talk about pipelines. There was going to be an energy corridor with renewable energy and pipelines, but there's no talk of putting any investment in renewable energy. And if we decided to build windmills in this country, we would be able to use Canadian steel. And I know that's the whole point of the thing, is to use Canadian steel. So I'm just excited that we could maybe frame something around that issue, of that we want the electric corridor, not the gas corridor. And so anyway, I know you don't really want to talk about the theme today. You want to talk about how to get more people, and we're not very good at it yet in Nanaimo, so I should be listening instead of talking.
Well, we also want to, actually strengthen the theme, which I think the national slogan from Seniors for Climate and 350.org and the people that are now coming together is draw the line, pick a path. And so there are various ways being discussed of doing that across the country. But if the theme or the path will be renewables, then how can we present a focus that is cohesive and collaborative and sort of speak as one voice? Because again, I think we're doing all of these sort of things, but they're fairly fragmented.
And it's beautiful if it's positive.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You don't want to be all against. If we can be for something, present a solution, I would be in favor of that.
Yes, I've had politicians say that to us before. Bring us solutions, not problems. So that we're already sort of going in a direction with the theme here, I think. I think, Dave, you were next.
You're mute, Dave.
There you go.
Okay, I think that's unmuted. Yes, the question that I had was about timing. Originally, Seniors for Climate was going to do something on the 21st. Now it's been changed to the 20th because of the collaboration with 350.org. That's fine by me, and the idea I heard at the big organized meeting, was that we would try and mobilize as many people and have as many people out in the streets. And especially there'd be a big thing in Ottawa. And all that is fine, but we had already been discussing with the Kootenay Climate Hub and doctors, the local chapter of Doctors and Nurses for Healthy Planet, about doing something on the 21st, which is Sunday, Sunday. And it appears that that's what the American groups who are participating in this international thing still want to do. So my question is, are we going to try and do something on both days, or are we strictly going to switch from the 21st to the 20th? Or what?
Well, it has been a little
I'm kind of
confusing.
inclined to try and do something on both days, different kinds of things. And we'll see what the doctors and nurses actually particularly want to do, probably some kind of forum or something. But I think it's pretty obvious that our national organizers want us to do street events out there in the open with as many people as possible, which means lots of collaborations for the Saturday.
Yes. Well, and I think it has become a little bit confused but Bill McKibben and the group of the Third Act group wanted to change things from the drill baby drill idea in the US to use the sun and use renewables. And so he has said all along the 21st because it's sun day. On the other hand, a lot of people prefer Saturday. So I think it's kind of up to us as to which one we choose. But nationally, it sounds like 350 and different ones like that are choosing the Saturday day. And I don't know what this group thinks. If we want to try to do something for both days, that would be spreading ourselves a bit thinly, probably, to do two things. But who knows? Dan,
Well,
okay. Oh, sorry. Dan.
There you are. Yeah, I think every day is Earth Day. So Saturday, Sunday, it's all a good day for good action, and every action is welcome. All of us are smarter than any one day of us. Yeah, I just wanted to reference the sustainability piece in our conversation, and perhaps there's some utility in drafting a letter from all of us on that theme. My personal favorite using Canadian steel in the current morass is for geothermal. Wouldn't it be great if we were a world leader in geothermal energy and learned how to drill 8 or 10 miles deep and tap that source of heat and have the social equity of having to share that to all countries without there being any particular entry level of that's higher than possible. So anyway, that was that reflection quickly, that possibly we could draft a letter collectively, and that would be a beginning of something we can do to find our definition of who we are.
Maybe that could go out in the newsletter, and then people could sign on it or sign up on it or use it, or we can decide on a process for that. Drina?
Yeah, I just wanted to say in terms of dates, it probably doesn't matter as long as a lot of different activities take place on that weekend. I mean, realistically, the media is going to cover whatever happens in Ottawa, Toronto, New York, and London. And, it's nice to feel part of something that's worldwide. Hasn't happened very many times. But in smaller communities, we're going to have to devise activities that suit our town or our region, and how we can best reach people and get some attention from local authorities and local newspapers and radio. So the fact that there'll be many, many activities going on for the whole weekend all over the country and North America will hopefully bring people's attention to it, even if they don't see something in their local town.
I was just going to mention, sorry, I was just going to mention that on October 1st, we weren't all doing things on October 1st. Some people did things on the 30th of September, and other people did it on the weekend. I think we can be flexible. We're good that way. And so it's whatever really works for us. And there's the 21st is the World Peace Day. So some people want to pair up with a peace event, and that's great too. The more people we get out to anything, the better.
So any other, Linda?
I just wanted to mention to the folks in the call is that my role is to support you, but I'm really trying to work at the outreach and get more and more seniors involved. So I contacted through email a number of you, as well as other locations across BC, both on the mainland and Okanagan and North, etc., and on the island. So I've just started reaching out to the Rotary Club. So that's on my list to do, as well as municipalities. And some of you gave me leads of other organizations for me to contact. And what my goal is then to feed that information to those applicable locations. So you've got more people to connect with and work as a group. That's my intent. Hope that's okay.
Yes, and please do use the Seniors for Climate website. It does have some amazing tools that we can all tap into and use effectively and share ideas there as well as through meetings like this. So, Carol? Don't forget to unmute.
I'm sorry. Avril, I think you had your hand up first. Do you want to go?
Oh, sorry, I missed Avril.
That's okay.
Oh, sure. I can do that, Carol, in part because it follows from what Linda just said about Rotaries. And I mentioned it earlier, but we had a chance to, and of course, my phone is ringing. I'm going to stop this. I probably have to answer this and I'll come back, okay?
Okay. Then I'll go ahead. I was just curious because we have for the BC Hub, we have a mailing list of roughly 500 people. I don't know if all of you are on it, but can I assume that you're all content to receive information? Because we will put out information, a newsletter. Dan made reference to that. And it will include resources, a little bit about the strategies, things that you might want to do, information about that I think would be helpful to you. So, Lori, you have this mailing list. Can we say if anybody doesn't want their name forwarded to the hub to maybe let you know, but otherwise we would make sure that everybody's name is on the hub mailing list? Okay, great. That was what I wanted to check out. And I would just say Kira and Natasha are the people that are going to be putting out that information. So that's a part of why they're here today, is kind of to glean what would be helpful to keep this group feeling cohesive and feeling together. So I'm not sure if you have ideas about that, by all means, share them.
Absolutely. So Lori, I think you're next.
Okay.
Oh. You're muted as well, Lori.
Like, you'd think I would know by now. I mean, really, years of Zooms. So I was just going to say that I got a lot of the initial emails, not just from Linda, but from the map that is on the Seniors for Climate, our groups or whatever it's called. And if you are a new group, or if you are a person thinking about how to get more people, if you go on to I think you email the national group, like admin at seniorsforclimate.org, or you can email Linda. She can help you get on the map. When you're on the map, then more people can find you to then make your group bigger.
Yes, and to join in when there's an activity, because we did get people calling us from all over the province saying, is there a group that I can join in with during the October 1st time? And sometimes we knew and sometimes we didn't. And so that's another reason for gathering these names and saying hello to everyone here. Francis? Oh, don't forget to unmute.
And to work on here. Okay, I just wanted to clarify. I always thought that WeCan was the BC Hub. So is there a BC Hub that is completely separate from that? And if it is, I don't likely belong because I belong to WeCan.
Yes, well, most of us belong to WeCan through some organization that we're part of, and WeCan is a coalition basically of British Columbia environmentally focused or themed organizations. And so they put out their newsletter and call the occasional webinar and that sort of thing, but it's separate from Seniors for Climate.
Oh yeah, no, I just thought which one is the BC Hub?
Well, the BC Hub that we've been calling ourselves the Vancouver Group started out as the BC Hub for Seniors for Climate. And then we realized last year that because we're a small group, and also because we wanted to hold an event on October the 1st and then Earth Day and now in September, that we were sort of spreading ourselves a bit thinly to do all of the jobs that seem to be required. Right. So basically, this group will likely become the BC Hub with some of us in Vancouver and in Penticton likely, and with the students this summer, trying to build that cohesive voice somehow and be more collaborative and connected. Lots of secrets there.
That clarifies it. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. So Dan?
Yeah, just want to say we are the ones we've been waiting for. So I did hear, Linda, that you're contacting Rotary. And that made me think also about our efforts to find a list of senior homes and neighborhood houses and activity centers, etc. And this is for our outreach newsletter, the BC Hub of Seniors for Climate. So as Carol mentioned, we have a modest list of half of 1,000, 500 or so, and we'd love to grow those numbers so that we're reaching more people. And so if you have contacts that you can help us with, that would be great. You could send them to me directly, or you can send them to the BC Hub of seniorsforclimate.org as well. We have an email reference there.
Okay, and Nancy, I think I saw your hand up. Yeah.
I wanted to mention that for Earth Week, we made a pretty good attempt at engaging students from from the high school and the elementary schools. We had an art show. We put out a request for submissions of climate art, and I don't think we gave them enough lead time, the schools. I think they needed, probably 3 months to work it into what else they were doing in their classrooms. But we did get one classroom that submitted some absolutely brilliant stuff from 7 and 8-year-olds. It really added to our art show. And when thinking about these two young people, Natasha and Kira, maybe something that would be valuable because they're young. And sometimes when I approach youth, like teenagers, they kind of walk in the opposite direction. Everybody knows me in this community. So it's like, oh no, here she comes. She's going to be talking about climate change. But maybe Natasha and Kira would have some strategies to engage young people. Maybe like asking, like, are your grandparents concerned about this? I have grandchildren, and I do talk to them about it, and I don't want to scare them. Some of them are pretty young, and yeah, I just think that would add something to these events in September to really try to engage youth and even younger kids in some way.
Natasha or Kira, do you want to say something about that? Because they're working on a social media plan.
Yeah, it's so funny that you brought that up. We just came out of a meeting where we discussed trying to engage more teenagers, early 20s, younger adults into the initiative to ensure that each event is more, especially in BC, more intergenerational. So yeah, we're gonna reach out on social media, and we're gonna start there, I think.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and how to frame it so that it looks intergenerational from the very beginning, right? And so
Yeah.
that they know that we're all on the same side, and that us older folks aren't just dumping on you young folk. I had to laugh when you said that, Nancy, though. I lived in a small town for many years, and when I was in the grocery store, I realized that when I was going down an aisle, I would see somebody dash around the other way because they thought I was going to ask them to do something, which was probably true.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
So
I wondered if Natasha also just wanted to say something quickly to add her voice to this. You need to. Great, thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate you giving me the opportunity, but I think Kira covered it pretty well, that we're really looking into how to access like multiple generations and connect everybody together. A lot through social media, and then we're gonna try and pick up the newsletter a bit more as well.
Great. Thanks.
Thank you. Nancy, did you want to add to that?
Yeah, just one last thing. I just had this idea, like this presence that I want to have at our farmers market. I think I'm going to make a planet, like a paper mache planet. So that could be a collaborative activity from week to week. It would need to dry and we need to paint it. So that would involve kids. So I'll let you know how that goes.
Yes.
Are you saying a plant or a planet?
Planet. Yeah.
Which I think before we call on the other hands, that means that we have to actually meet in maybe 3 weeks again so that we can build on these ideas. Catherine, I think I see your hand up next.
Yes, I just wanted to say that excited me, the idea of an intergenerational march. I was going to ask if numbers were more important than cities in the making of a march or a protest. And I really think if we could make it intergenerational, we have a lot more people turning out of different ages, and we could advertise it as such and make it more of a march that includes everyone of all ages in our communities. And I think I would stand to get more people out in Kelowna rather than, as I was thinking of, teaming with Lori in Penticton to have a larger march. So this gives me hope, and also I find that really exciting. And I think that's a good advertising point for CBC and others, that this is an intergenerational march
Well,
for
we can
climate
also
action.
look in to see what Fridays for the Future is doing, because often they have a march at the end of September as well. So we don't want to compete, so we can just keep adding to and working with.
Thank you.
So Avril, are you back?
I am back, and I just wanted to say that a very successful phone call the city of Penticton. So I can now say to this group that we have tentatively secured August 13th as a social day at Skaha Lake Park Pavilion. So has any of you ever been to Penticton and seen Skaha Lake?
Yep.
Yeah, well, then we'll be having in the center of that park our big event to lead us up to September. And that was the phone call I took, was from the city of Penticton. So
That's
you are the
fun.
first to know, even before the rest of the steering committee of our group. And yes, Natasha, and if we can, through you and through Kira, get some additional momentum for and suggestions for that day, that would be really awesome. I heard you, Nancy, talk about your globe. I know that in part of a previous life, we had just a regular globe, like a smaller size one, positioned on top of gas barbecue. And just as our installation, to have people drawn to a discussion about, well, why do you have that? What is that? What's going on here? And then it's like, well, don't you know the planet is being barbecued? So, and it worked out really, really well, and it drew lots of people in, and that was on a previous Earth Day of several years ago.
What a great
I had left off with the conversation saying about Sunrise Rotary, in part because it is, and we tried to encourage them perhaps to do a solar activity of some kind. Their name is Sunrise. They have the momentum, they have the connections. And Lori, if she hasn't mentioned it, presented, and those of you on this call who are in the near vicinity, possibly you, Sue, in Langley, can connect with those in Sunrise, or people in Chilliwack, Sunrise Rotary. They have held a climate fair for 3 years running as a promotion from their Sunrise Rotary. And it has been really active and well in time, and it's in Chilliwack, BC. So not too far from you, Susan. And yeah, so there's lots of opportunities, I think, in the event to really bring out intergenerational action on September 20th and 21st. I recall the presenter from 350.org saying that Fridays for Future was already on board for the Saturday, the 20th. So I think that's lots and lots on the go. And I too am really, really enthused. And thanks for organizing today, Lori, Erlene. Lots to do, but it's always good to know you're moving forward.
And thank you. And Linda, you have something to add, and then we will talk about the next time, maybe.
Okay, I just think that this is an opportunity of making connections with each other and for others beyond this call and across the generations, across sectors, etc. And the other point I wanted to make is sometimes it can be very challenging to engage folks. You've probably met folks who deny that there's climate change, or they're on the fence, or there's other priorities. And I guess I've come to the conclusion that people I know have tuned me out when you talk about facts, but I try to make the connections with what's happening in the world to their lives. So it was really good to read an article on the Seniors for Climate website that was mentioned yesterday at a meeting, and it has to do with the connection between wildfires and climate change, because here in Manitoba, we've been very impacted, well, BC, like across the four Western provinces and beyond, but having people make the connection that the forests are on fire because of climate change. It's not haze, it is smoke. So there's been times where you can't really, and maybe that's happened in your communities, where you can't really go for a good walk because it's too smoky outside. So to me, it's just on so many different levels making connections.
Thank you. Now I see two other hands, and we've sort of promised to keep this to an hour. Are you guys okay to stick around for a few more minutes? Okay, well, Dave, Gregory.
Okay. Knowing that it's an hour gone already, I just want to say two things. One is that I think that we in Kootenay Lakes Hub group would be very, very keen to be involved with the BC Hub, which we haven't been at all. In fact, I didn't even know it existed before today. So that's something I'm very glad to see, that it's expanding beyond the most urban bits of BC.
Yes,
we often get left out of things here in the wild southeast.
That's one of our points.
I hope we won't be in future. The other thing I want to say was that the We Can brochure done by Guy Dauncey on LNG is very, very good. It's a really superb piece of material. It's 3 pages, color and so on, and it's very effective with lots of super information in it as well. But it just as soon as you see it, you want to read it, and it might be you probably all know it, but if you don't, make sure you get copies of it. And it's the sort of thing I think that would be very good for us to really publicize on September 20th, 21st.
Thank you.
Okay, I was just going to say, Avril held up the other thing that Guy made, and the thing that he made was a climate worries and climate solutions, which is also, it's a 4-pager, and it's also very powerful because it's a little bit less dense. But the LNG one is really important because it's really factual and gives I mean, I don't know why David Eby isn't reading it. Like,
we need to encourage David Eby to be more aware of some of these things, I think.
We just gave a copy to our MLA, who's the Minister of Rural Affairs.
Oh,
Brilliant.
that's great. So I think when Don mentioned a letter that we could sign, I really like that idea. If Dan, if he's interested in crafting that letter for us, that would be a really great way to begin, and we can take a look at it and really use it all around the province, because it's a really big ask. We have lots of asks, right? And that's one of the things I handed out yesterday, the ask, what is our ask? Well, we have 5 asks, but we have a lot more. And the ask is just stop digging around. Really. Just get with the program. But they're not listening to us, so they need to. And that might be one way for us to get them to listen to us.
Well, I had a young man at the Wilderness Committee yesterday tell me that politicians actually do worry when they see a group of older people gathering at their doorstep, because they know that old people vote, that old people donate, and that old people are smart and they're active. So we just need to use that power in a more cohesive, collaborative way in the future, I think. Okay.
What do you
So
say
Lori
about
will,
another doodle poll coming out to, or should we just set a date? What would you like? Set a date and then we can meet if we can, or the doodle poll, which makes some people nuts?
yes. How about Wednesday afternoons look pretty good. So why don't we just do Wednesday afternoon again in 3 weeks? How does that sound?
Sounds good to me. I will send out a follow-up newsletter, email, just about the next steps and with a little bit of a review, although I wasn't taking notes, so it won't be much of a review unless Erlene sends me more information.
Well,
And
I
then,
think Kira and Natasha probably have to.
Avril is saying, no, we're busy. Are we busy?
We are busy, Lori. Our own steering committee, Seniors for Climate, is meeting 3 weeks
At
from
what time?
today at this time.
At
Oh,
3?
A little bit sooner. If we start up at 1:30, we might be done.
Yeah, no, that's okay. That's all right.
Well, how
We're
about
gonna be okay?
2 weeks? How is 2 weeks too soon?
Maybe. I
Too
don't know.
soon.
Too soon?
I think
So
it's
let's try. Let's try, Lori. We'll try.
Yep.
We
I
can switch
will
our steering committee too.
I will send that out, and I'm also going to send the sign-up sheet that we crafted, which is quite easy. It's a PDF. You can print it, and I can send around the LNG sheet also from Guy Dauncey, because my life is full of too many PDFs. And if you have any other questions, you can email me if you want me to include something. Yes, Carol.
Just a quick question. When you recorded, did you ask for an AI summary?
I did not ask. I've turned it
Okay.
off. AI
That's
AI summary. I used to use it until I discovered that it was taking way too much energy, so I have turned it off.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a completely legitimate thing to do. But neither Natasha nor Kara came with an intention to take minutes.
Oh,
And we
okay.
have to talk about in terms of their timing and so on, if they can do that. Maybe we can actually find different people in the group that will take minutes. But we can talk about that, okay?
Yes.
But they didn't come today prepared to do that. Or Natasha, did you do it?
I have some rough notes. I'd be happy to go over the recording and just fill them out a bit more and then send that around if
That's
that's
great.
helpful.
That's great. I will post this on YouTube as a not a public recording, but a limited one where you can only get into it if you have the link. So I will post it on YouTube and I'll send the link around to the recording so people can look at it. Thank you so much, Natasha.
Yeah, thanks, Natasha.
So, this was quite an impromptu meeting, so we really weren't very organized, but I think it went